Do you remember yesterday? We talked about a young lady called Amethyst Realm. Amethyst Realm. And she's in the papers again today. So let me just read a little bit of this. Amethyst claims to have had more than 20 phantom flings, even joining the Mile High Club with her latest spirit partner. She says, quote, "My new ghost lover is really special, wise, stable and kind. I'm not 100% sure if it is male or female, but I have found true love." Wow. We met when I went on a trip to Australia earlier this year. Spirits usually remain in one place, but I'm delighted this one followed me back to the UK. I was happy and excited, so excited in fact, we headed to the Plain Loo, and I am now a member of the Mile High Club. Orgasms I have with my spirit lovers have been way deeper and more satisfying than I've had with ordinary men. I've given up sleeping with humans. Ghost sex is deeper, more passionate and seems more natural. And then there's another young lady in the papers today as well, Sian Jameson. Although currently dating a living man, Sian, 26, claims to have had passionate sex with a ghost from the 19th century. She says, "After splitting with my long-term boyfriend 3 years ago, I rented a 16th century cottage in West Wales. I was immediately taken by the painting of a handsome man above the mantelpiece, which dated back to 1820. A few months after I moved in, I woke one morning to find a dark-haired, very good-looking young man lying next to me. He had a kind of shimmer as if he was behind a fluttering voile curtain. I felt a hand on my waist, but the touch was strange. I looked at the man again and realised he was the one from the painting. We ended up making love for an hour. He was very gentle. Even when he moved on top of me, pressing down, he felt almost weightless. It was very strange, but the sex was amazing." And then we Hayley and I were kind of digging around, and we found out actually this is not as rare a phenomenon as you might expect. There are actually quite a few accounts from, I've got to say, from normal people. It seems to be normal people who've had sex or relationships with ghosts. And I'm absolutely thrilled to say that we've got one of them now. We've got Amanda Teague on the line. Good evening, Amanda.
Good evening, Iain. How are you?
I'm very, very well, thank you very much indeed. You're married to a ghost, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. And it seems to be, since I came out with my story, there has been so many other people come out too.
Right.
I actually run a group on Facebook called Spiritual Love for people that are in spiritual relationships, and we have over 40 members now from all over the world.
Wow. We'll talk about the group in a second. How did your story start, Amanda? How did you meet your ghostly lover?
Well, my story started with practicing witchcraft. I was practicing witchcraft for about 10 years. Now, I identify as being asexual, so or maybe on the demisexual scale. So the physical body is not important to somebody who's asexual,
right, or
demisexual.
Yes.
So I had struggled for a long time with my sexual orientation and the whole thing about gender. So I had cast a spell to meet a soulmate pretty much about 6 months before I felt the energy of the spirit come through.
Yeah.
So literally just one night, I just felt I would work with energy a lot. So, I mean, it wasn't unusual for me to feel energy, but I usually knew the energies that would be around. So this one night, this energy came in. I didn't know who it was. So I didn't connect with it because there are spirits out there that can be deceptive and spirits that you really don't want to communicate with. So
when you say deceptive, Amanda, so when you say deceptive, do you mean like spirits that are pretending to be, like a nice 18th century cobbler, but actually they're demonic or evil?
Yes, exactly.
Wow. Okay,
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or maybe not even demonic, but if you can imagine, there's nice people in this world, and there's rapists and there's murderers. So you've got kind of the same thing. It could be just an earthbound spirit as well, not particularly a demon, but and in fact, earthbound spirits who are kind of evil in the way that we would understand evil in this world, they're probably actually more deceptive because they've got an agenda.
Yeah. Okay. So how did you detect or decide that this spirit was friendly?
Right, well, about 3 times I felt this energy around before I decided I would connect with it. So then when I finally decided to connect with him and he told me who he was, that he was a pirate from the 1700s. And I mean, I was very, very suspicious. There was very little way of verifying who he was or, you know, so it took a while. It took about 6 months of me asking him to tell me things that I wouldn't know, that I could go away and research. And I think the deciding thing for me in proving that he was who he said he was the fact that he told me that we were linked ancestrally and that if I went back to my maternal family tree that I would find a Teague there, and I did that, and my great-grandmother was actually Teague. So there's no way I could have possibly known that.
Wow.
So that, to me, that was very much...
When they start giving you information that you don't know but is verifiable, then that means you're onto something, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people think... that you're very airy-fairy if you're into spiritual work. And that some people are, but there are some people who are quite scientifically minded and very logical thinking people, and I would be one of them. So, I mean, I just don't take anything at face value. Okay. I will go away and I will research it and I will look at the history of it. And so I wouldn't be taken in easily.
So how did it... I mean... I don't mean this to sound flippant, right? But it's going to, just because of the nature of the question. How did you strike up a relationship? Did you start dating? Do you go out to like restaurants together? How does it work?
Right. Well, it's an interesting situation because we had spent a lot of time communicating. So again, bringing the whole sexuality thing into it, people that are asexual are not terribly sexual people. So it really started off more as a friendship. And we just kind of got close over time and discovered that there was some romantic feelings there between us.
Right.
And then it was about almost a year we had been in communication, and out of the blue, he just suddenly told me that we could have a relationship together and that we could actually get married. Yeah, well, physical is probably the wrong word, but yeah, an intimate relationship.
Okay, right, yeah. If I ask anything that's inappropriate, just tell me to jog on, Amanda, because I don't want to. I don't want to ask anything that's really.
I'm sure you're not going to ask me anything that I haven't been asked.
Well, I know, but I don't want to. I want to be a sensitive account. Okay, all right. I'm going to go in. I'm going to go straight there. How do you have sex with a spirit?
Right. Well, how you have sex with a spirit? I was very confused by this in the beginning as well, and I started doing research and talking to other people, and I talked to other people that I knew in my own community here that had owned up and said yes, they had sex with spirits.
Yes.
So it took us quite a long time because it's all about feeling energy.
Yeah.
So I mean, somebody that will say I went into a haunted building and I felt like a chill up my spine, or I felt there was a presence there. That's feeling energy.
Yeah.
So when you work in mediumship or whatever, you learn to feel that energy on a more extreme level. So feeling that energy to a level where you can have a sexual relationship, to me, it takes a lot of work and a lot of learning. Now, some people, it's like drawing or whatever. Anyone can draw a stick man. There are people who can, draw a portrait. There are people who are better at feeling energy than others, but anybody can do it.
Yeah.
So for me, it certainly took a while to get the hang of it. And another thing that I have discovered is that because obviously spirit doesn't really look like anything, they're just energy. So they have to draw energy to be able to perform physical acts, so to speak, to move things, or in fact to have sex. So very often when a spirit is having a sexual relationship with a physical person, they are drawing on the energy of that physical person. For that reason, you have to be super, super careful, because if you are not very, very careful, you will find yourself becoming very, very ill, because obviously you need your energy for yourself, and if a spirit is constantly drawing the energy out of you, then your body becomes run down. And that in fact actually happened to me, and I ended up seriously in a hospital in June of this year.
Because he was sucking everything out of you, and you got ill.
I got very, very ill. I almost died. Yeah. So,
wow.
So that's kind of a twist to the tale.
Yeah, isn't it? I didn't realise that.
It's all good and it's all brilliant, when you're there, but you kind of don't look at the negative side of it, and there is a negative side to it. And for somebody that's saying they're having sex with so many different spirits and mixing so much energy, I would be really worried long-term for their physical health as well.
Okay, well, I was about to say, 2 questions, okay? Again, I don't mean to sound flippant. Can you have a ghost baby? And you can't have a ghost baby?
No, I did actually. I actually stopped my periods after we got married, and I had this conversation with him because I was very, very worried. And no, you absolutely cannot have a ghost baby.
Can you catch ghost AIDS?
No.
You can't get, like, ghost STIs or anything?
Ghosts are just like energy. It's like the wind or electricity. They don't have matter. And to have a baby or to catch an illness. Now, having said that, somebody could get artificially inseminated and, with a donor, and they could say, that was a kind of adopted baby that themselves and the spirit had, but, it wouldn't physically, biologically be the spirit's child. Or the same with the fetus. There's something called empathy, or being an empath. So, sometimes the spirit can feel what you're feeling, and I would be able to feel sometimes what he had been through. So if he had an illness in his life and he wanted to allow me to feel that, yes, I could feel it empathically, but I wouldn't actually, physically get it, so to speak.
How did he propose to you? Did you propose? Did he get down on one knee?
No, I'm sorry to disappoint.
Oh, really, man, where's the romance in these 17th century pirates?
Kind of, you know what, we could get married, and I'm like, yeah, why not? Let's go for it.
Good for you.
Of course, now, that was pretty exciting because, we went out on a boat into international waters.
Well, I'm watching. I've got a picture of you in your lovely white dress. You've got your beautiful bridesmaids. It was a proper...
And I got puked on during the ceremony as well.
Sorry?
Because, I had forgot to tell people, that I might be a bit rough out at sea. And,
who puked, who puked on you?
Of seasickness, so I got puked on during my vows, yeah.
Who puked on you? That's not what you want at a wedding.
One of the bridesmaids' boyfriends.
Oh no! Come on.
Yeah, no.
Did your husband punch him?
No, it wasn't funny at the time.
No. No, it's not funny.
No, it really wasn't.
What did your family say when you said? Can I ask? What's your husband's name?
His name was John Robert Teague, or Jack Teague. He likes to be called Jack, so yeah.
What did your family say when you went, guys, I'm getting married? Oh, great, can we meet him? Yeah, he's here. He's a pirate from 1700 called Jack Teague. What did they say? Did they think you were nuts? Did they go, oh, here we go, Amanda's got another ghost in her life? What did they say?
For the most part, they were just kind of interested, like yourself, as to how it worked, how we could have sex, how we could get married, really. So, because they're all quite open-minded and they would have known my path and the type of stuff I was into, that obviously marrying a spirit is taking to another, level compared to what a lot of people do. But, they weren't terribly surprised. They were just interested as to how I was actually going to manage to do it.
Yeah. And this is why, honestly, I think you're so brilliant, Amanda. As well as all of this, you're also a professional Jack Sparrow Pirates of the Caribbean impersonator.
I used to be, but then after I got married, I just kind of felt weird. So I'm actually a RuPaul impersonator now. You better work.
Oh, girlfriend! Wow.
Yeah, I just the whole Jack thing. I guess it was because I was married to a pirate similar to him.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to be identified for me, like we live in a modern world. No woman wants to be just identified by who her husband is, so I needed to kind of step out and say, well, I'm kind of, I'm more than this. And I have a new book coming out, which is the autobiography, which is called A New Attitude. So it's all about kind of balancing this thing between the spiritual and the physical, and being an impersonator of a pirate and then marrying a pirate. And it's very easy to get lost in it all, and I kind of, when I got sick, I really had to kind of step back and say, who am I here in all of this?
It's so refreshing you said that, because part of me, when I saw the story, thought, oh, here we go. She's just saying this to promote her Jack Sparrow impersonation business. But the fact you're saying, oh, yeah, it felt a bit uncomfortable because he's a pirate, so I knocked that on the head and now I impersonate RuPaul. That's incredible. What's your Facebook group that you mentioned, Amanda, in case people want to have a look?
It's very simply called Spiritual Love.
Spiritual Love.
So it's very easy. And I'm Amanda Sparrow Large on Facebook as well.
Okay.
So actually my profile picture is actually me dressed as RuPaul. So.
Hey, listen, here's a question. I'm getting divorced, right? I'm single for the first time in a long time. How could I get a ghost lover?
Well, I mean, have you ever done any spiritual work? I mean, what would your background be? I mean,
I haven't really. No, I haven't done it. You need to kind of be connected to the spirits.
Well, you know what? I mean, I do. Although I've stepped back a good bit from the spiritual tuition, I do still give limited amounts of spiritual tuition. So you're welcome to contact me and join one of our classes.
Oh, do you know what? I might take you up on that. Or if Jack knows anybody, send them my way. Amanda, you're a good sport. It's nice to talk to you. I wish you and Jack the very best.
Thank you very much. Lovely to talk to you,
Nice to talk to you too, Amanda. That's Amanda Teague. There we go. What a delightful lady. And the pictures, it's a full-on wedding. She looks gorgeous in her wedding dress. 0344 499 1000. This is the late night alternative. And boy, oh boy, isn't it that tonight on Talk Radio.
Join me, Iain Lee, for interesting conversations you don't usually hear on the radio.
Week Monday, I get shoes.
Dolly Parton, I listen to a record all day long.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
That was the most profoundly upsetting call I've ever heard in my life.